we gotta talk about Carl's second team. I would say he got the Detroit hat on. You know what I mean? The Detroit Lions, man, they are probably the biggest story in the NFL right now. You know, they won more playoff games this year than they ever had since 1957. Crazy, right? 1957. So I ain't gonna do Tomo like that. I'm gonna leave that comment for Dave. I know he got that for you. But we're gonna go right into it. The Detroit Lions beat the Buccaneers, the Baker Mayfield Buccaneers. I wanted him to go first on this, but we're gonna come to you, Dave. Our reaction. What was your reaction to that game? Detroit Lions getting a dub, heading to the conference championship game.
That was an exciting game to watch. I'm not gonna lie. That was that game and the Chiefs and Bills game were the two most exciting games I watched this weekend. Um,
That
luckily, I
game
was
was well
able.
lit too, though.
I mean, it was, but
You were stressed though. I got
me,
you.
I'll talk about for me. It wasn't exciting to me, but
That's funny.
um, yeah, man. Shout out to Baker Mayfield, man. I feel like he set a lot of people up this year. For one, getting a playoff win at home, hosting a home playoff game, um, beating the Eagles, and it's like it seems like it's like the underdog story right now. It seems like everyone that's in the conference championship besides Mahomes have been considered underdogs, kind of sort of. If you look at I tried, I tried to not look at that comment, but it was too obvious. It was too obvious.
That was funny.
Oh man! But um, all I know is that was a great game by Jared Goff, by Jameer Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, C.J. Gardner-Johnson got a pick in that game. It was a really, really, really good game by both teams. You know, Mike Evans has some really spectacular catches in that game. I wasn't expecting it to be that kind of a game, honestly. I picked the Lions to win that game. I pretty much thought that they was gonna blow them out. That's just what I was thinking. But the Baker was like, not today. We might lose, but we ain't getting blown out. So, you know, the game was what 31-23. They had a chance to win it in the final drive, but of course, you know, Baker went back to being the Baker from the Cleveland Browns and threw an interception when everything counted. So that was one thing that was, a little bad. But Jared Goff showed that he don't need a head coach in his ear to call plays. Because we heard that the entire time he was with the Los Angeles Rams that, Sean McVay had to read the plays for him, had to read the defense for him. I'm almost certain Dan Campbell ain't doing that for him. And then Ben Johnson is his OC. But you don't hear that coming out of Detroit that Ben Johnson has to read the defense for him and tell him where to throw it to or who to throw it to. It looks like he's making the decisions on, and they trust him a lot more in Detroit. And Detroit is really, they love Jared Goff because before the game started, they were chanting that man's name. It was like 12:50. The game started like 1, and they were just chanting his name the entire time. They were just Goff. Like this city is excited for this Detroit Lions team, and this is the most success they've seen in a very, very long time. And it's exciting to see a team that has been considered one of the worst teams in the NFL finally look like what we all thought they would be when they had Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson. When they had Barry Sanders, when Barry Sanders was running off, was getting people's ankles out the way in the league. So, but shout out to the Bucs too, man, because they played a lot better than most people thought they would this year. I know a few people didn't think they would make the playoffs. I'm one of them. I didn't think that they would make the playoffs. I thought they would. I didn't think they would win their division. So shout out to Teddy. Teddy's the only one other than Trent that thought that they would win. That they would win their division.
Oh, okay. I'll go, Carl.
Great game overall.
I'll let you finish it all, Carl, on this topic. All right.
That's cool.
All right. So look, first you brought up CJ, right? All right, CJ Gardner Johnson, right? Him and Baker Mayfield had a back and forth before the game, and then he caught a pick. He caught a pick, and then he handed the ball to Baker Mayfield. I thought that was cool. All right, shout out to the Eagles ties. Also, reading plays. You live and you learn. You know, you come in the league. Sean McVay in his ear constantly, reading the defense for all that stuff. Hey, you live and you learn, man. Jared Goff grew up a lot, man, and he impressed me a lot. But I'm gonna get to him. But first off, the Buccaneers, man. Like they said, I had this being a blowout. I said this would be the only blowout game this weekend. I was totally wrong. The first game was a blowout. Actually, the score of y'all game card was the score I thought it would be for this game, but it wasn't. All right. The Bucs came to play. Every time Detroit tried to put them away, they responded. Mike Evans had a field day, 8 receptions, 147 yards. I did feel like they could have ran the ball more with Rashad White. He had not only 9 carries for 55 yards, but I feel like he was getting chunks. He was averaging 6 yards a carry. He was getting chunks, but they got away from running the ball. And that last interception killed him. But the one I want to talk about is Jared Goff, man. Jared Goff surprised me, y'all. I gotta give him his props, man. I really when Carl came on here and debated Cap about Jared Goff, I was like, I get it, the numbers do match, but Jared Goff ain't there yet, man. Right? That's what I was thinking. This man, Jared Goff, man, he's impressing me. He had a slow start, but in the fourth quarter, his first 11 passes, 11 for 11, 131 yards in the TD. All right? Their key players stepped up in the fourth quarter. Jamari Gibbs, 31-yard touchdown. Amari St. Brown, big third down catch on 3rd and 15. All right, a 16-yard, like he fought for that extra 2 yards to get that first down, and he caught that 9-yard TD on first down in the goal line. That was key. Now, I will say, Carl might mention this, Jamel Dean getting hurt, they help a lot, right? He helped. Carl mentioned in the chat, he was strapping, pause, right, for a lot of people. He allowed only 2 catches, 7 targets for 14 yards. He gets hurt. Zion McCollum comes in, right? What college is that, Carl? What college he went to? You know?
I ain't gonna lie, I don't know what school he went to.
Okay. All right. 5 receptions allowed on 5 targets, 56 yards in a TD. By the way, that last TD by Amari St. Brown was actually on him too. All right, so they did benefit that. But most playoff wins by the Detroit Lions since 1957. Dan Campbell changed that whole culture from top to bottom. All I'm hearing about the coordinators they are leaders of men, and Dan Campbell is leading that charge. Ben Johnson and Eric Glenn. I'm hearing that from like every time people interview him, they are interviewing these guys because they are mainly leaders, right? Goff hasn't been rattled all playoffs. In these playoffs, 74% completion percentage, which is higher than his regular season. 564 yards, like 280 a game, which is higher than his regular season numbers. 3 touchdowns, 111 QB rating, which is higher than the regular season. He has upped his game in the playoffs, and that's why I'm giving him so much props. And last thing I want to say is this. As an NFC East opponent, you know, Jalen Hurts lost to Baker Mayfield. Dang, that's crazy. But go ahead, Carl.
All right, the reason why I don't know what school he went to, he didn't go to an FBS school. He went to Sam Houston State, which is now an FBS school, but when he went there was an FCS school. So he went to a FCS school. So shout out my D1 AA's for those that don't know what FCS means. It's basically D1 AA. Shout out to them. Now, yes, sir. Yeah, Lions. Lions in that NFC Championship. I called my mother went crazy when Baker Mayfield threw the pick. I'll start with the Bucs. Bucs played a great game. Baker Mayfield led an incredible drive before the half. Mike Evans toe up Cam Sutton. I don't know what that Cam Sutton press was about. I don't know if that was a cover 2 and he let him outside or if it was a 2-man under and he tried to get physical with Mike Evans and just totally forgot about technique. Might have been a 2-man under and he just got punished. But either way, great job by Baker Mayfield. But I wasn't nervous. Baker Mayfield led the touchdown drive to tie at 10-10, but I still was like, okay, that's one drive. I'm not nervous. I believe the Lions go up 17-10. Rashad White scores the touchdown to tie it at 17-17, but he did the Blade Icewood. And I said it when he did it. That was disrespectful. Now, he came out and said, he was a DM that came out that he said the low blade, like my people's from Detroit, I was paying homage. And I kind of thought that at the time because, you know, my people's from Detroit. You know, my mother, my uncle, my cousins. I got a cousin that go to Central Michigan. Shout out her. But my people's from Detroit. I go like every year. East side off Jefferson. If you're from Detroit, you know. But
Okay.
so I'm like, okay, that's fine and all, but this ain't the time and place to be paying homage because it's wartime. Nobody's gonna take that as a homage. They're gonna take that as disrespect, and you about to turn them up. And what the Lions do? Score
Turn
2 straight touchdowns, go up 31-17. Another thing I gotta talk about the Bucs. Analytics is killing football. Why on earth? Down 14. You score a touchdown to Mike Evans. Great touchdown. Why are you going for 2? Why on earth does analytics tell you to go for 2? Because if you get it, you score again, you win the game with an extra point. Well, guess what? If you don't get it, now you're forced to go for 2 again. You could have just kicked the extra point the first time, and if you want to win, you can kick go for 2 and end it there, or you can kick the extra point and go to OT. The choice is yours. At least you have the choice. By doing that, you take the choice away from yourself if you don't get it. I never understood why coaches go to the analytics in that situation. It's been irritating me for a couple years because this ain't the first, won't be the last time where it happens. But I was happy. Shoot, I'm rooting for the Lions. Go for 2 and don't get it. Works out for me. So I was happy there. Jared Goff played a really good game. Did not have a turnover, if I remember correctly. No turnovers. And that's the reason why I was hesitant when the Lions got him at first, because he's prone to turn the ball over. He will. Matter of fact, I remember his first year there, first preseason game, threw a pick. I was like, Jared Goff ain't changed. But he's actually growing. He's growing on me. He's growing since the first round pick out of Cal to now. He's even grown since becoming a Lion the first year to now. He's grown, making plays. I can actually look at Jared Goff, see him come on the field and be like, okay, I have faith in him to make the right plays to put the Lions in position to win. Now, he did have that rough stretch going against divisional opponents. It's going to happen. Every quarterback has that stretch. Lamar has the stretch. Mahomes had that stretch. Every quarterback is going to have that stretch. It's about how you bounce back, and Jared Goff so far has bounced back in a phenomenal way. Jahmyr Gibbs, man, can't say – what more can I say about the rookie out of Bama via Georgia Tech? Never understood why he went to Georgia Tech in the first place, but that's neither here nor there. That's just a phenomenal back. Does it all. You can run the ball out the backfield, catch the ball out the backfield, dynamic with the football, can burn you on open field. I think he was the spark plug that run game needed against Tampa. I think David Montgomery, he kind of more so his style more so fit the Bucs defense and stopping him, while Gibbs' style more so fit the Lions and getting big plays after big play after big play. As you saw, run a touchdown run before Amon-Ra St. Brown scored. I think Jahmyr Gibbs actually scored this touchdown to go up 17-10. And one more unsung guy I've been watching since 2021. Shout out my dog, Craig Reynolds. I've been watching Craig Reynolds try to make the Lions year after year since 2021. And now to see him score a playoff touchdown, I was genuinely happy, bro. Like he was a Raven. That's how happy I was for Craig Reynolds to score in the playoffs. I nothing but respect to Craig Reynolds. Now, if Tom Kennedy can find the end zone next week, it's the same thing. I mess with Tom Kennedy too. But shout out to the Lions, great win. Now let's bring home this NFC chip so I can have half my Super Bowl I want.
Now, I do want to say this. Shout out to Brad Holmes, the GM for the Detroit Lions. Remember the NFL draft episode? And they drafted Jahmyr Gibbs, and everybody's like, what are you doing? Why are you drafting a running back in top 10? Y'all should have got a dude from Georgia, Eagle ties. But like you said, he was a spark plug to our run defense. To our rushing attack, and get rid of Swift. He's like that. He just stepped right into that role, that elusive role at the running back position. So I do want to say that. And I do agree with the going for 2 call. I'm sorry. They couldn't. Detroit was hot offensively. They like, we get one stop, we could win this game. Not go to overtime. So I was okay with it.
They got to stop, though. And because they did that.
That's what I'm saying. We need one stop, and then we score, game over. Just kick the field goal, game over. We saw Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson go for 2. Go for 2 for the game last year, and they got it.
But I'd rather you do that than to be down 2 touchdowns scored, go down 8, and then go for 2. I'd rather you say, forget overtime. We gonna win it here. No, but see, this is the thing though. You get to have the choice. Now you take the choice away that you didn't get it.
I think you didn't have the choice. I see that.
I'd rather you kick the extra point, and if you feel like, all right, OT, we're not gonna stop these guys. Let's go for the win now. I'll take that over. We might not. What does that message send to your defense? I don't trust you to get the stop, so I'm gonna go for 2. Because, okay, say you go for 2 and you don't get to stop and score a touchdown. What did that change?
I get you, but I was cool with it. Now Detroit did it. It's like, what are y'all doing? Y'all don't need to do this. But I get the
that would be
Bucs
something
doing
Dan Campbell would do.
And you got Mike Evans, man. Throw that thing up.
Yeah, but last thing I gotta say, Bake, you cannot do that when the rubber needs to meet the road, bro. Second play,
what are you talking about?
The pick.
Oh, the pick. Okay. Yeah,
Second play, you just throw the ball away like that. I mean,
yeah.
Lions fans and Lions supporter, we thank you, but you cannot do that.
Well, Jordan Love did it on the first down. That was crazy. All right. Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.